We got more training camp talk. The pads are on today. We got more Phillies talk. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The deadline, it is heating up in MLB. Training the AM, we're live talking all this and more. 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live. YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you're watching, hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe. We're starting the show 560 subscribers. Just moving on up. We grow this show. We grow this channel by you hitting those buttons. It's free to do. Literally costs you nothing. And, of course, vote on our YouTube poll question. You've got 4 choices. Eagles training camp biggest surprise of 4 choices. Moro Ojomo dominating. Adoree Jackson getting the majority of the cornerback 2 reps. Cooks, Marshall, Gray. We got a battle for wide receiver 4. And Jihaad Campbell practicing already. They're your options. So far, first 7 votes. No one's voting on Moro Ojomo. Interesting. Anyway, we got lots to talk about. But please, before we talk, like, share, subscribe, and, of course, vote on the poll question. It's so easy. You tell people to just turn the dial off and plug and play Trending in the AM. It's easy to do. Anybody could do it, guys. So let's get right to all the comments already rolling in. Good morning, Adam. Yes, 560 gained another one yesterday. Moving on up. Big Al sharing us out on Twitter. Much appreciated. Good morning, Purist. How you doing today? Hope you are good. Good morning, Rick. Hope you are having a great Tuesday. How do you lose to one of the worst teams in baseball and say, how do you have a Wheeler Sanchez back-to-back and lose both those games? I think that's the bigger question. Who thought the Phillies could lose both those games back-to-back? Because I don't think anybody did. Typical Phillies loss last night. I honestly didn't watch last night much. Had a big family event last night. We'll get into it in a little bit. But, yeah, didn't catch much of it. But I see what happened. I know what happened. Ojomo isn't that surprising. It's not? Okay. See, I get a little bit of a surprise from Moro Ojomo's domination. I mean, because literally the only name, I read every tweet, everything from every Eagles practice here in training camp. Every video, every tweet, everything, every article. There's been days certain guys have thrived, other days that other people have thrived. Every day of practice so far, Moro Ojomo's getting pressure. Moro Ojomo's dominating the defense or the offensive line. Moro Ojomo, maybe because he's going up against Tyler Steen, is pushing things. I'm extremely impressed with what we're seeing about Moro Ojomo. Good morning, Big Al. Hope you're having a great day. I woke up this morning watching Eagles Super Bowl highlights. I'm so ready. Absolutely, Michael. Abso-freaking-lutely ready for this to get started. And next Thursday, first preseason game. Ready to rock and roll, right? Ready to crush it. Ready to get back into football. This week, Thursday's the Hall of Fame game. So we get football this week. And I always actually watch the first 10 or 15 minutes of the Hall of Fame game, despite it being bad football, because why not? Why wouldn't we watch it? It's football. The Tigers' offense over the past month has been one of the best in baseball numbers-wise. It's weird, I know, but that's baseball. Why are we talking about the Tigers? What's the Tigers' offense got to do? Something to do with the trade deadline? This team just knows how to squeeze the best out of everyone. That's what championship caliber players do. Well, you know, they're trying to squeeze the most they can out of a lot of players. They're trying to get people. There have been some. I think another question would be biggest disappointment so far, and you could put that on a lot of different names. But so far, you know, I'm intrigued by that wide receiver battle that's going on. I'm intrigued still if Adoree Jackson, who I wanted to be the depth piece, kind of like Isaiah Rodgers last year, if he has to start, safety. I'm intrigued with what's going on with the defensive edge position. Howie Roseman, I didn't think Howie Roseman was going to have to make any moves here, like any big moves. They might have to. Okay, White says, I didn't know if I missed something trade deadline-wise there, Rick. when you were talking about that. Obviously, I know a lot of people want Eugenio Suarez to the Phillies for third base. I know he got hit by a pitch last night. They say the x-rays were negative, but more testing today. So I didn't know if I missed something trade deadline there this morning. Phil's got swept by the Pirates earlier this year. Not going to be surprised if we lost the series versus the Red Sox. Absolutely. It's kind of just the way it goes, right? That's what a 500 team does. And why are we surprised that the Phillies are 24-24 over their last 48 games? Like, I don't know. This is exactly what happened last year with the Phillies. Start off hot and then play 500 ball for the second half of the season. The Phillies got to find a way, whether it's a big trade, a big something, to bust out of this content with 500 baseball coast for the second half of seasons. It's a couple years in a row that they just coast. Build up the big win-loss record and then coast. You got to bust out of the funk. You got to be able to take these games right now. Absolutely, baseball purists. Rest in peace, Ryne Sandberg, one of the greatest of all time. Passed away yesterday. Obviously, one of the worst trades in Phillies history, getting rid of him. Also, not one of the best coaches either in Phillies history, but a baseball legend nonetheless. I was a big fan of watching him play as a kid. Really great baseball player. Phil's also took 4-6 from the Yankees and Red Sox. Absolutely. But see, that's the thing, Rick. This is why Phillies fans get frustrated. Not negative, frustrated. 500 baseball. The same story post the London series last year. Since about June this year, it is just flat. You win 2 or 3 big series, then you lose a bunch of games. It's inconsistency that frustrates us. Oh, I've been saying with you for the same thing, Anthony. It's the same story, same song and dance. And that's why we're frustrated. Players are going to ball out even if they don't look like they make the team. Philly's a proving ground. Absolutely agree with that. So far, Jihaad Campbell is dominating this poll already with him even practicing. And they mixed it up a little bit, which I love seeing the mix-ups. They had Zach Bond sitting off to the side, and they had Campbell and Trotter out there with the one defense yesterday for a stretch. Obviously, Zach Bond, as the veteran, will get some breaks, but that might be a glimpse into the future at linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. On a rare night, the starting pitching sucks. You would hope the bats would come through for the Phillies. Yeah, well, the inconsistent bats and the bottom 2/3 of the lineup is the problem, Steven. It is a must to go get a power bat and bullpen arm, get it done. Exactly. You got to bring something. Rick, I wouldn't be against the idea of a Eugenio Suarez, and I talked about it yesterday. And the reason why I'm now even more on Eugenio Suarez, this is not a knock on the player I'm talking about here, okay? But Eugenio Suarez will probably cost you Alec Bohm in the trade, plus McAble and something else, right? This team needs some kind of shakeup, and trading to somebody like an Alec Bohm might be the shakeup needed to freshen up the clubhouse, but also put a little pressure on the guys. Be like, oh, even Alec Bohm's not safe. Might be the kind of shakeup. Trading one of your starters for a better starter or a starter in another position might be that little shakeup that's needed. I don't know if I said that right, but the locker room does need a shakeup. They need to be shown that they're going to be held accountable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Ryne Sandberg. I don't want another home run or bust bat. Yeah, and Eugenio Suarez does strike out a lot. He does hit for a lot of power. He's got a little bit better of an on-base percentage type, ability than, say, a Lewis Roberts or something like that. That's why I'm still on Quan, but that's just me. But it's baseball. Before the current hot streak, the Mets lost 10 out of 12 games. I'm not talking about the Mets. I'm talking about the Phillies. But the key thing is this is now multiple years in a row of starting out hot and just going average. For not a short – we're not talking a 10 or 12-game stretch. We're talking 48 games. Almost a third of the season, they have been a 500 baseball team. It does not mean they're a great team. They're still on pace to win 92. And even if they just go 500 the rest of the year, they still win 88. I did the math before the show. And 88 still gets you into the playoffs. So this is still a playoff baseball team with no trades. But again, what we've been talking about for over 100 games now is we want more than playoffs. We want to know this team can contend come playoffs. 500 teams don't contend come playoff times. Burchetti, being at the link for open practice. I don't even remember when's the open practice, like mid-August. That's awesome. Maybe I'll make my way out this year. Getting Bohm off this team would be massive. Him and Nick are I'm not saying they're losing players. I'm not going into that. But what I am going to go into is this team needs to show some accountability, and maybe moving on from somebody like a Bohm. You're not getting rid of Nick Castellanos. He's your best outfielder of a bad bunch, but he's still your best outfielder right now. Would trade Bohm and Abel in a second. I don't know if Bohm and Abel alone is enough, Rick. You might have to throw in like one of your young prospects from single A that's got some potential as well, Rick. But that is a starting point for Suarez as long as his wrist is okay. He did get hit with that pitch yesterday, so I need to see those x-rays for sure. But yeah, as a starting point, Bohm and Abel, done. Get the paperwork filed with MLB. And I think it would help. I know it feels like a carbon copy of last year, but look at top teams like both New York teams, both falling apart at the seams. Yeah, absolutely. This year compared to last year, teams are more than, not just the Phillies are falling or playing below subpar baseball at times. So that is a good point. The team needs to stay healthy and make the right moves at the deadline. It seems so cliche to say that, Big Al, but it's so accurate at the same time. Man, how bad are things getting at camp? Whose camp? The Eagles camp's doing great. Eagles camp, by the way, practice will start at 9 a.m. today instead of 10 a.m. because of the excessive heat wave. Can I open and close the pizza shop early because of the heat wave too? Because I'm going to sweat my ass off at the pizza shop today. I want Crawford already. Mike says he can hit for average and contact and help defensively in center field. Absolutely agree, Michael. He should be up here. And people are saying they're waiting until the trade deadline. If that's the case, fine. So maybe he'll be up here Friday. I don't have faith that the Phillies will bring him up. Not yet, at least. Seeing teams win 102 games is going to be seen less and less. Well, yes, absolutely, that's fine. I could see that, but also, you just want to see consistency, not average consistency, just consistency. The guy that attacked the NFL office yesterday had a note in his pocket. Yeah, I just saw that literally 5 minutes before we went live on Twitter. Didn't even know about that. Yesterday was a crazy day. I was very, very preoccupied with a family event, a very, very special family event. What did Sandberg die of? Cancer. Not sure what kind of cancer, but it was cancer. It's August 10th. Okay, so a couple days after the first preseason game. Awesome, man. See if I can swing that. I got a lot going on that time, that stretch of time at work. So not sure if I'll be able to swing it. But if I do swing the open practice, then I will make sure to let everybody know, and maybe we can all meet up down there. NFL Players Association investigation goes deep. It is National Chicken Wing Day. That is correct. Phillies need a low strikeout power bat like Carlos Correa for third base or Lars Nootbaar. I haven't heard those names available. I'm still a Stephen Kwan guy. Now, obviously, Clase from the Indians is not available. Another gambling scandal going down there, throwing pitches. Thank God that information came out before anybody traded for him. But on the flip side of that equation, more and more of this. I mean, just don't gamble. Just don't bet. It's pretty clear as day. It's over 100 in Clearwater, dude. It's going to be so hot. The feel like today in Philadelphia is going to be like 110. In the pizza shop, I bet you it feels like 120 today. As long as the Phillies get red hot at the beginning of October, that's all that matters. But they didn't get red hot the last couple of years. And that's a problem. And that's a concern because it's the same team. I say that Nick is the best outfielder, but if you go by WAR, he is the worst position player on the whole team. I don't buy into the WAR stat as much as others. I mean, I know it's there. I use it a little bit, but he's the only consistent player in that. You know, Brandon Marsh is okay. Johan Rojas isn't an MLB player. Max Kepler is terrible. I would take Nick Castellanos 100 times over any of those guys, Anthony. Sorry. I don't care what the WAR says. He's perfectly fine in that outfield. Now, if you want to discuss trading him in the offseason, by all means. And I'm okay with that. If Kansas City wants to offer us something for him in the offseason, no problem. Now, if you're going to make 2 or 3 changes to the outfield, fine. But you're not. You might make one outfield addition this trade deadline. And if you do, it's got to be left field or center field, not right field. Dejean Cain back in Buffalo. Cool. He's a fast guy. We've had him here many a times. What are the Fox? I don't even have any special stays. Too hot to have specials. Terrence Marshall is making noise in camp. There's a poll on the YouTube page right now. So you're on Twitter. If you head over to the STT Sports Network YouTube page, it's linked in my bio. Subscribe. We have a poll rolling right now. Eagles training camp biggest surprise. One of the options is Marshall, Elijah Cook, and Danny Gray, and how much those three wide receivers that all of us pretty much said were just camp bodies. At least one of those guys is going to make this roster at this point. All three of those wide receivers are having a standout training camp so far. A.J. Brown's hyped up Terrence Marshall. A.J. Brown's got a personal connection with Elijah Cooks. Danny Gray's making plays every day, although he was banged up a couple practices ago and missed yesterday's practice. It's 87 already in Rehoboth. It's going to be so fucking hot today. Good morning, Duck. How you doing, my man? By hook or by crook, the Phillies going to find a way to get Rooker and Miller. Put Painter in the deal if you need to. He's just a prospect. Yeah, look. I'm not going to say he's not a very good one. He's still a great prospect. He's not playing well. He did have his last start was pretty solid. But you know me, Rick. I'm always all for. I tried 2 years ago on this show to convince everyone to trade Painter for Shohei Ohtani before he had Tommy John surgery, even though Ohtani was just a rental. Every prospect is always on the table in my book. Terrence Marshall, ever mature as he could be. I mean, he was a second-round pick, a couple years ago. Terrence Marshall obviously has the pedigree. I didn't know his issue was maturity. A solid number 2 on lesser teams. Absolutely agree. Gray going to make the roster on speed alone. So I think 2 of the Cooks, Marshall, Gray could. I already predicted before training camp started that Johnny Wilson wasn't making the roster. I had Anais Smith as our 4th wide receiver. Well, now if I got to tweak it, I'm going to say Marshall and Cooks, but it could be Marshall and Gray being 4 and 5, and then they trim somebody else elsewhere. Absolutely. Maybe later this week I'll update my 53-man roster list. War, yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Huh. Huh. Yeah. Love it, Steven. His issue is pure lack of hunger. What, Terrence Marshall? See, I don't know a lot about Terrence Marshall behind the scenes. I know what his pedigree was. I know what he does on the field, but I don't know about the off-the-field stuff. And I know he's been a bust, but he's also been with some bad quarterback play over his time. Anais Smith looking. I haven't really seen Anais Smith, his name pop up much. Haven't seen his name listed from the ESPs, the Martin Franks, the Ed Kratzes of the world. They haven't really tweeted his name out or posted any videos of him. That's basically what I do. I go through all the beat reporters' tweets, then all the articles after that. I haven't really heard much about him. I've heard a lot about the other 3. Haven't really heard much about him yet. I did hear him working on punt returning a couple practices ago, but that's the only time I remember hearing his name. Does anyone have a more doo-doo roster other than the Steelers, other than Metcalf and Watts? There's a lot of bad rosters out there. Will Manfred retaliate against the Phillies? That's another really interesting story. Harper's heated clubhouse outbursts using the umpires. I don't know about that. I could see them without a doubt trying to find an excuse to suspend Bryce Harper. For those that don't know, Manfred was in the Phillies clubhouse talking about a salary cap in baseball for the next CBA, and Harper told him to get the F out of the clubhouse. We're not talking about that. Baseball's cruising to a big issue after 2026. And more reason for the Phillies to go all in right now. Because you might lose the 2027 MLB season. I've been saying it for a long time, Pierce, on this show. I know you're newer to the show. Saying for a long time that baseball and the NBA, when their next CBAs, I think the NBA is in 2031, when their next CBAs are up, both leagues are going to go into a major work stoppage. Major work stoppage. And baseball's already cruising in that direction. The owners getting up. The owners giving out $700 million contracts, but now want to institute a salary cap. Of course, right? Phil, did you see the Jihaad Dotson talk about how him and Jalen got together multiple times? Yeah, he went down to Houston, spent some time with Jalen Hurts, work on that connection. I don't think there's any doubt that Dotson's the number 3 wide receiver. So when I talk about Cooks, Marshall, Gray, it's in a 4th, 5th position on the wide receiver depth chart, Anthony. Depth, if God forbid A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith got hurt. But Dotson is lock solid in that number 2 or number 3 spot for sure. And I love you see Jalen spending time with Jordan. You see, Jalen Hunt spending time with, Max Crosby. You see Dotson spending time with his quarterback. It's what you want to see. And it's always great to see. The last wide receiver space will come down to the bigger body and speed combination. Hopefully it's not Johnny Wilson. I've never been a Johnny Wilson fan. So that's that. Smith doing well against the second team backs. Okay. I haven't seen too many tweets about that, but okay. Maybe I'm missing some of them. Titans roster is a bit trash. New York Jets, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of bad rosters in the NFL, not just the Phillies or the Steelers, to answer his question. Let's see where we're at on the show today. So far, there's only 8 likes on this video, guys. Come on now. There's 13 votes on the poll, but only 8 likes. Please, if you haven't, hit that like button. Please, if you haven't, hit that share and subscribe button and vote on our poll. Right now, still dominating the poll is Jihaad Campbell, practicing already. Second on the poll right now is Adoree Jackson. 3 days in a row, getting cornerback 2 opposite of Quinyon Mitchell snaps. Keely Ringo already losing that battle early in camp. He's going to have to really push hard for that. So that's what we got. We got that. We're talking Phillies trade deadline, and just the Phillies in general, and the Eagles training camp at this point. So that's what we got on the agenda today. Cowboys roster is low-key pretty bad. Yeah, the Cowboys roster is iffy, Anthony. But I think the bigger question or bigger issue with the Cowboys roster is management. How much effort are these guys putting in when there's contract disputes? You got your owner/GM trash talking you to the public, aka Micah Parsons. All the nonsense that's going on in Cowboys camp and the Cowboys world is pretty bad. Is like worse than pretty bad. And that makes it very hard for a first-time head coach to get this team all on the same. They're the team on the same page. Can you imagine being Schottenheimer and trying to rally these guys from a disappointing season? Yet you've got distraction after distraction after distraction going on. Like I kind of feel like he's being set up, Shotty, to fail there because of Jerry Jones. Nobody wanted the job. I'm sure Schottenheimer wasn't Jerry Jones' first choice. Nobody wanted the job in the first place. Titans will be garbage. Calvin Ridley stinks. Calvin Ridley, man. Is he still in the Titans? He was such a good young wide receiver at one point. Met Steelers fan at the swim-up bar yesterday who were really hopeful for the season with Rodgers. At least they were until I explained the reality to them. I could see Big Al rolling up to a bar at the beach, a swim-up bar, and just trying to break it down X's and O's with some drunk dude at the bar. Guy's probably like, dude, I'm just here on vacation, man. Just trying to chill out. And Big Al's getting into like a heated conversation with them. Cowboys always have drama with players and the owner. Exactly. That's why we want Jerry Jones to live forever and run the Cowboys forever. Because, Adam, as long as Jerry Jones is in charge of that team, it's going to be a disaster. Twitter was fire a few days back. Hurts had better completion percentage with similar stats as Cam. However, he had nothing. Look, the whole Cam Newton, the whole Jalen Hurts beef, I'm over it. I've moved on. Cam Newton is a nothing burger. Cam Newton is a waste. I don't. Jalen Hurts is a better runner, a better passer, a better leader, a better dresser. Cam Newton is just better, period. Or Jalen Hurts is just better, period, than Cam Newton. Plain and simple. Yeah, I was dying to call. Yeah, dude, it's comical. How Jerry Jones thought that was a good idea, I have no idea. The guy's senile, obviously. Should the Phillies trade Castellanos, Stott, Marshall, Romeo, Kepler, or Rojas this deadline? Out of those guys, first off, Kepler has no trade value whatsoever. Let's break them down. Hey, I've already said earlier in the show, you can't trade Castellanos as your best outfielder right now. If you trade Castellanos, then you need 2 outfielders at the deadline, not 1. Stott, his value's at his lowest. I'm a huge Bryce and Stott fan. I don't know how you trade him. But I don't know how you keep going with him at this point. He's got to go to a platoon situation right now. Brandon Marsh, there might be some value in Brandon Marsh trade. I doubt it. But you upgrade left field, you keep Marsh in center field. At least as a platoon, that's good enough. You can't trade JT Realmuto. In fact, you probably got to extend him at this point because otherwise, who's going to be your catcher? Kepler. There's no trade value. You're not. He'll clear waivers if you cut him. And Rojas could be a pot sweetener in a deal. He's got very minimal big league experience. He's young. He's fast. Covers a lot of range in the outfield. He's a guy that you two teams are battling for a guy in a trade deadline, and then Dave Dombrowski's like, you know what? We'll throw Rojas in there as well. That might be that final little pot sweetener there. How about Chris Sims trying to tell Dallas fans their team needs to be more like the Eagles? I love it. Flipping the script. Totally flipping the script, and I love to say it. Yeah, we got the 560 last night, K1. Can we get the 561? 561 going once, going twice. You know how we do that? We like, we share, we subscribe, we vote in the poll, we interact with the show. All those things boom the algorithm, and all those things help this channel up, and away. Did the Phillies win last night? No, they did not, Marshawn. No, they did not. They won as much last night as the Sixers did last night. Cam Newton beef with Hurts is one way. Hurts is still in the league and is busy playing for another Super Bowl. Exactly. It's a pure jealousy thing, the Newton Hurts thing. And as soon as Cam Newton was asked, I forget by who, Cam Newton was asked, would you trade your MVP for a Super Bowl championship? And Cam Newton, without hesitating, said no. As soon as Cam Newton shot down the theory of trading an individual award for a championship, I'm like, yeah, that's why Cam Newton never won one. See, he don't care. Good morning, Judd. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hurts is only an above-average runner. He's a great runner. Cam is also Allen level. Hurts he is a better passer. Stott and Kepler are automatic outs. What do you do, Rick? We don't always agree. We agree sometimes. I am so lost. Like Kepler shouldn't even be on the team. It's fine. I don't know what to do with Bryce and Stott. Coming in this year, I was expecting a huge breakout for Bryce and Stott. I've talked about him as a leadoff hitter potentially in his career. Last year, the excuse was he's injured. Is he injured again? Like Bryce Stott's become pretty unplayable since May. Like really bad. I like. Has he regressed? Has he stalled? Is that on Kevin Long? Was he never that good enough and we just saw false hope? Like, I don't know what to think about Bryce Stott at this point. I hope he can figure it out. But I don't know. I'm a big fan. Good morning, little G. Maybe Bryce Stott's the perfect candidate after this year for a change of scenery type. Maybe he needs to get out of here and change it up a little bit. If we trade Casty, Harper going, we're not trading Castellanos this offseason. Not till at least the offseason. Harper could go back to right field and get rid of Kepler, but now you need two outfielders in. YouTube buried the show this morning. What the bleep? How dare they bury the show, Judd? So you should hit that bell on the screen. It's a notification bell. It sends you a notification when I go live. I can't call Cam a game manager because he can't even manage a game correctly. He's a game changer. When he didn't die for the ball in the Super Bowl, he changed. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Marshawn, Jalen would have dove for that ball, ripped it out of someone's hand, gouged an eye. He would have been Ric Flair at the bottom of that pile fighting for that football. Cam Newton's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. He can't manage himself. How can he manage a team? Exactly. The trade Realmuto stuff is crazy. His call of the game. Yeah, I mean, and JT Realmuto's gotten his bat back in shape lately, hitting the ball really well lately. Yeah, about 6 weeks. Yeah. Nobody's suggesting. I don't think anybody really is suggesting to trade JT at this point. Whether you can re-sign him in the offseason, that's another topic for the offseason. But, yeah, I dislike Kepler more than most athletes I've ever seen here. And Stott got to be a bench player and start Sosa. See, Sosa's not a regular player either, Rick. If you really go by his splits, you really break it down. When he's a part-time player at Mundo Sosa, he's very good. When he is an everyday player, you watch his average drop or just fall off a cliff and crash and burn. Sosa gets exposed when he's got to play every day at the plate. Defensively, he's still fine, but so is Stott. So I guess in theory you platoon them, and not just lefty-righty platoon like every other day type of platoon. Maybe that's what you do. You go with a Mickey Morandini, Mariano Duncan type platoon at second base. I mean, I don't know what else you do there. I definitely don't want to see Weston Wilson playing second base like he did the other day. Phil is shadow banned. They are sick of him exposing the Cowboys deep state. Is that what it is? The Eagles are a collective super team, but not super enough as individuals. Yeah, it's funny. We got a super team. Hurts wins because of the super team, but every list doesn't have the Eagles anywhere near the top 10 in any position. So are they a super team or not? Stott can be traded at this point. Sosa could do his job, but probably I don't think he could do it better defensively. Maybe on par. Offensively, I think he would collapse big picture. But is Stott's value too low to trade him right now? You know, maybe a change of scenery would be good for him, but I don't know if you get any real value out of Stott for how bad he's been for 2 years now. YouTube will bury the show till we trade Castellanos. Jalen would not have been pouting like Cam. Jalen doesn't pout. Jalen just drinks Sprite, right? Cam Newton is the most overrated quarterback ever, and he wasn't even rated that high. Dude is a diva. And maybe I don't know style, but Cam Newton, dude, is an awful dresser in my opinion. Sosa's still a better player every day than Stott playing every day. At this point, it might be the case. It might be. JT has played 87 games so far this year. So much for Topper saying they were going to rest him a bunch. 87, and they've played what? Like 105. Wow, man, crazy. Lightbringer. Thanks for using the word stud. Did I even use the word stud? I didn't even know I used the word stud. There you go. So I used it properly. Great. I'm glad. Why didn't Pamela Anderson ever make what? Why don't Pam Anderson ever wear makeup? Who knows? Who cares? Where the hell did that come from? So everyone thought Stott was the next Chase Utley. Not even close. It's now 2 straight years. You can't use, I guess, the injury excuse anymore, right? With Bryce and Stott. I'll admit I've been wrong. I thought Bryce and Stott was a key piece of this team future. I said he was the future leadoff hitter of this team. You can't have him hitting leadoff. You can't have him in the 9-hole. Do I drink? I love Sprite. Sprite's one of my favorite non-caffeine beverages there is out there. A change of scenery will unleash the greatness of Kenny G. Always with the Kenny G love, and I appreciate it. Always more Kenny G love is better than no Kenny G love. You got to make sure you squeeze him in somewhere, right? Guys, we're only at 13 likes on this video, and we got 18 people watching right now. So make sure you're hitting that like button, and if you haven't yet, subscribe, please. Steelers have Kenny G, exactly. Cam Newton reminds me of Serge. Would you like a espresso? A little lemon twist. It's really nice. Yeah. Serge, obviously, also from Baki from Perfect Strangers. Great sitcom of the late 80s, early 90s from TGIF. Used to watch that all the time. Kenny G is a stud. Okay, gotcha. Good. Glad. Phil, can I get tickets to Naked Guy yet? What? Naked Guy? In the thumbnail, you wrote it. I don't know if you actually said stud, but we heard it a lot lately, referencing things. Okay. Yeah, I don't even remember. I made that thumbnail and title and graphic up at like 2:30 yesterday afternoon. So, yeah, I don't even know what I put on there. Morrow and JD going to eat big time. Absolutely agree. And Morrow Jomo, to me, he's not winning the poll. There's 17 votes on the poll. 18% of the votes have said Morrow Jomo dominating out of these 4 things is the biggest surprise. Now, I expected an increase from Morrow Jomo this camp and this season. But the fact that I take 1.5 to 2 pages of notes every day of practice, okay? I go deep dive into every reporter's reports, okay? The only name outside of Jalen Hurts on every page of notes is Morrow Jomo. Like he is booming through the first couple days of camp. JD, we're gonna see. I hope. I have big hype for JD. Yes, I loved Happy Gilmore. We talked about it a lot yesterday. Thought it was fun, entertaining, exactly what I wanted to be. We knew it wasn't going to be as good as the first. We knew it was going to be cameos. We knew it was going to be nostalgic. We knew they were going to throw some new things in there. And it was a perfect, fun. You could do a lot worse with your 2 hours on a night than sit down with your wife and just laugh. And that's what I did. Well, fully. I love it. Happy Gilmore. You think it sucked, but everyone else liked it. Naked Gun. Oh, yeah. I don't know when Naked Gun comes out. Looks funny, though. The Phillies had a Quan and Class A deal before Class got suspended. How did the Phillies pivot? I don't know if they had a deal in place. I know they were talking to them amongst other teams to get a deal done, purist. I would still go after Quan. Make 2 separate trades. Get me Quan and then get me Miller from the A's. Or get me Quan and... No, I don't know about Duran. I know the rumors are that Duran, the Twins want Andrew Painter for their closer. I don't know if I'm trading Andrew Painter for a closer per se. But go get it done still. Find a way. Find a way. What was better, the new Beverly Hills Cop? Oh, that's a good question. Because I actually, again, the new Beverly Hills Cop, I watched it on an airplane ride. It was a perfect movie to watch on a plane, a boring 2.5-hour plane ride. As long as you go into a movie setting your expectations properly, you can enjoy the movie. If you go into every movie thinking it's going to be an Oscar movie or the greatest comedy of all time or X, Y, and Z, of course it's not going to live up to the hype you set. That's why Endgame was so disappointing. Everyone set the expectations for Endgame so high. But that's why I think No Time to Die, the last James Bond movie, was so bad in my opinion. Because I saw Rami Malek as the lead villain. I'm like, oh, I set the expectations through the roof. But Beverly Hills Cop was really a really good, sequel for years later. I would say Beverly Hills Cop was probably a little bit more entertaining because of the action involved in it as well, the shooting, the fighting, the drama as well. But Happy Gilmore 2 was the better comedy. Where are you seeing that? I haven't seen. Yeah, there have just been rumors from what I've seen, Anthony. No deal in place from what I heard. Naked Gun. Well, we don't know if Naked Gun's. Oh, the original Naked Gun better than Happy Gilmore 1. That's a tough one. Different types of comedy right there. Nah, I think Happy Gilmore would be over Naked Gun, but it'd be close. It'd be real close, K1. That guy has no proof that the Phillies had a deal. Yeah, there's no deal done. There was a lot of rumors, though. Haven't seen Happy Gilmore 2 yet. Well, it's a fun movie. You should. Beverly Hills Cop is better than Happy Gilmore 2, but they're both, they're popcorn flicks. That's all. And that's okay. I'll say this. Beverly Hills Cop 4 was light years better. Yeah, absolutely. What was the name of the theme park from Beverly Hills Cop 3 was just so god-awful. Only good thing, part of Beverly, Surge, of course. Being a guns dealer, was that Beverly Hills Cop 3 where he was a gun dealer? Naked Gun is better than Happy Gilmore 1. That's a close call. It's a very close call. Gilmore was so, stop. You don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen How have you not seen Happy Gilmore 1, Marshawn? It is one of the great comedies of all time. Like how? I have not seen the Superman movie yet. I will at some point, Marshawn. I see your comment, K1. Very mixed feelings on Superman from a lot of people. Some love it. Some think it was terrible. Some people think it's down the middle. Like, there's no consensus from the people on Superman. Wonder World? What about Wonder World? I am not sure how to accept this comment or not. Where happiness is, what? I'm going to watch Fantastic Four movie today. Good. Again, another movie that, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. I'm just burned out on superhero movies. Just am. Never thought there'd come a time where a Superman movie would come out and I wouldn't rush to the theater to see it. Or a Fantastic Four movie. I just don't feel like putting the effort in on superhero movies anymore. I'm just over them. One said Superman was great, so we got Superman was super meh, and we got Superman movie was great. Two totally different opinions on the same movie, and this is just a constant trend with this movie. The theme park is Wonder with what? Beverly Hills was Phil, on the other hand, was hilarious. Yeah, I am not a Beverly Hills person. Anyway, I'm going to throw the line. I'm going to reel you all back in, okay? Like, share, subscribe. Vote on our poll question. Let's get back to Phillies. Let's get back to the Eagles training camp. Let's get back to sports. No more dumb movie talk. Although I do love a good movie conversation. I do love movie conversation. But we get so off track. See, we got one person said it was great, one said it was meh, and one said it was super average. That's 3 people, 3 completely different opinions. I think Superman was really good. Superman character's always seen it in different lights, and people will never agree on what type of movie it should be. That's fair. That's fair. Looking forward to Happy. How many more movie names can you get my name into? The Legend of Tiger Vance. Well, we talked about this yesterday. It was a bad movie. Movies are a good digression. They are. I thought Superman was amazing. Can't wait to see it again. So we got 3 different opinions, and then we got a 4th opinion where a guy's going to go see it again. Like, that's how good one person thought it. It's interesting. Again, I have no desire to go to a movie theater to see a superhero movie of any kind right now. And there are some good-looking ones coming out or that are out right now. I'm just burned out. The Phils have eyes. Are we literally just sitting there? Are you just on IMDb looking at random movie titles? So where can I put Phil's name into a movie title? Phil's Redemption? There, got you one. All right? That's right. Like, subscribe, vote on the poll. Adam's telling you what to do. You want to have movie conversations? Well, let's grow this channel. Movie conversations don't help the algorithm. Someone tunes in for 5 seconds thinking we're talking Eagles and Phillies, and we're sitting here arguing about Superman. They're going to tune out right away. And I love the Core 12. But I want the Core 12 to become the Core 24. And then the Core 48. Then the Core 96. Yeah, I had to do some math there. That's what I'm looking for. So vote on the poll. Do all the things I need you to do. What are we at? 16 likes on this video so far? Not too bad. Let's keep pumping it up. Let's keep doing our thing. Let's look at my notes from training camp yesterday and see what I've got here. Eagles camp is look a solid core. Speaking of cores. Yeah. The Eagles core is great because the Eagles core is all on the same page. Every day you hear, audio quotes. Everybody's thinking, feeling, and doing the same thing. Acting the same way. K1 came up with 5 in like 5 seconds, and you can't come up with 1? Come on, Judd. Do better. Do better. It's got to be at least 2 words in the title. Come on. I got faith in you, Judd. I'll let the movie conversation go on till Judd comes up with a movie title with my name in it. So looking at some of my notes from yesterday. The Masters of the Universe, a superhero movie. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Man. Now we're all getting everybody but Judd is coming up with these names. Anyway. So names that stood out yesterday in camp. Just gonna throw a couple names. Obviously, Elijah Cook's in today's poll. Not getting many votes on the poll, but he's in the poll. Had some highlight catches yesterday. Mac McWilliams for the first time. Got a little bit of hype from camp yesterday. Got to play in a little dime defense with the ones. Was handily taking care of Johnny Wilson in drills. Thought that was interesting. Another name that we're not hearing much good about from Eagles training camp. And it could be because he's a rookie. Could be a lot of things. Ty Robinson is not having much of a training camp so far. The Vanilla Gorilla. No, He-Man is not a superhero movie. Yeah, I don't know if I would consider He-Man a superhero movie or not. The good, the bad, the Phil. The Phil, the bad, the ugly, or the good, the bad, the Phil. So he changed it from Private Phil to Sergeant Phil. I got my stripes. I'm a sergeant now. New segment. The Phil Good movie of the week. Dude, you guys are some weird people. No, I'm not even saying that one out loud. Not even going to say that out loud. 0, Anthony. 0, I'm saying that out loud. The hell is wrong with you people? You guys are some weird people. The dark Phil. Well, the dark Phil has risen a few times. That's titled Rant Phil. When I went on my Jose Alvarado rant yesterday, that is the dark Phil rises. Phil, the big red YouTuber, what? No. Stop it. You guys are sick individuals. Like, I don't know what to even... Something seriously wrong with you guys. No, I would never do Dallas, okay? Never. Ever. I'm lost for words with you people. I really am. Really. You know, I'm giving up going into work early today to get shit done. To hear this? Seriously. I'm just waiting for more movie titles, though. Phil Unchained, Django Unchained. Nah, that was a weak effort. I think Purist just ruined it all there with that one. Yeah, Anthony's got something going on in that brain of his this morning. Phil in translation. There's a lot of translation to figure out what I say on a daily basis. There really is. A lot of what I say don't make sense. As I was trying to explain last night at a party, I just fake it till I make it around here. I just wing it. I don't know what I talk about. I just talk a lot. That's just what I do. I don't know what I'm doing otherwise. It's all just made up. Vic Fangio, Ed Kratz tweeted out 3 minutes ago from his press conference. Sidney Brown is getting better, and Jihaad Campbell making small strides every day. And if he keeps making those strides, thinks he will be what we want him to be. Ed Kratz high on Sidney Brown so far. I love how, though, he says he's got to keep making strides, Jihaad Campbell. Andrew Makuba will not be practicing today. That's the second practice in a row since he had a collision with Danny Gray a couple days ago. The Phil Fodder, what? Good Phil Hunting. That's cheesy, but good. The Phil Father. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't like that one. From Phil with love. Yeah, I don't send out love often. I do not send out love often. Vic Fangio also just said, Mac McWilliams, who I just mentioned, has a little football savvy to him, but needs to be better with his fundamentals. I love it. Vic Fangio pulls no punches. Vic Fangio is honest, 100%. No, Anthony, your mind's in the gutter this morning. I think Anthony needs a little loving. Alvarado and Nola are going to be like trade deadline acquisitions. Except one of those won't be allowed to pitch in those so-called playoffs, Anthony or Rick. I'm still on board. I don't want him back. I don't. Little Phil? No. This who filled me? That is awful. Some of these things. You guys. Sick minds on all of you. Gutters. I'm just paging through Twitter right now. Somebody just tweeted, I guess Vic Fangio just casually threatened Cam Newton in his presser. I don't know what that means. Pads on. Pads are on today. Full pads, unlike yesterday. Love the full pads. On the hottest day of the summer, the Eagles are going full pads. The eternal Phil of the spotless mind. Phil versus Ferrari. Some of you are getting a little weak. May the Phil be with you. Yeah. Phil fall. It's got to be multiple words. Alvarado could still help the Phillies get into the playoffs. Not sure why you wouldn't want a player to help this team. Because I'm a stubborn. I am a stubborn piece of shit. I am. Rick, I am what I am. I'm passionate about my opinions. Just like if I was the Indians. I wouldn't want Class A back on the team. When you go into business for yourself, above the team, that sends a message. That's a Cam Newton, rather than his MVP trophy than a Super Bowl title. When you go into business for yourself, and put the betterment of the team at risk, you don't deserve the right to come back this year. You just don't. Plain and simple. Big Phil and Little Chai. As Phil as it gets. That has a good rhythm to it. For sure. Class A learn Japanese. Yeah. Absolutely. Get him out of here. Phil Metal Jacket. That's not bad. Phil Metal Jacket is not that bad at all. Lane Johnson. I know. Absolutely. I don't care. When he got suspended, it was a long time ago. My opinions on things in sports have evolved greatly over the last 3 or 4 years, Rick. And now, my opinion is what it is. See, this is the thing. This is a funny thing. People get so upset with me because I let my opinion evolve every day. I got yelled at on Twitter yesterday by somebody because I said Eugenio Suarez was the key to the Phillies' success. And someone's like, what? You say they suck every other tweet. Why do you care about their success? And you're flip-flopping and this and that. And I'm like, no. I'm allowed to evolve my opinion. And yeah, I didn't bash on Lane Johnson 7 years ago or whatever it was when he got suspended. But now I'm going to. If Lane Johnson went out and got suspended today, I'd be pretty pissed off at him. 100%. What's up, Mitchie Poo? How you doing in the house? Phil Toon? No, that doesn't work. Kung Phil Hustle? No, that one works. It's about time you got in on it, Judd. The second Jordan Roman came in ninth inning based loaded. You'd gladly exchange him for Alvarado. I mean, I get it. Now, here's the thing, Rick. Me saying I don't want him back does not mean when he goes into a game, I'm not going to cheer for his success. There's a difference there. If they do welcome him back and he's put in a position, I'm going to give my effort to cheer him. But I don't want him back. Phil always strikes back with a vengeance, too. The Phil Gilmore, that doesn't work, Mitchie Poo. That does not work. Get him to the Fillmore. You guys start stopping. But it's the more comments, the better. The more comments help the algo. It just doesn't help maintain the algo, but yeah. No, it's not hypocrisy. Okay? Why is it hypocrisy for me to say that I don't want a guy back? But if he is back, I'm going to. It goes back to, you can go with the Michael Vick thing. It's always something I go back to. Just because the Eagles signed Michael Vick, I wasn't going to stop cheering for the Eagles, despite Michael Vick doing an awful thing. Okay? It's not hypocrisy. I will always cheer for the red pinstripes, no matter who's on the team. I didn't want a Double Herrera on the team all those years back after his situation. I still cheered for the team. I still cheered for his success on the team. There's a big difference. And it's okay. If you come up with an opinion today, Rick, on any subject in sports, you are allowed to change that opinion when you either A, gain more information, gain more knowledge, or evolve how you feel on a topic. Phil Drunk Love, yeah. And maybe sometimes with Lane Johnson, time heals those wounds. Right now, in the heat of the moment, my wounds aren't healed on Jose Alvarado. You want to bring him back next year or 2 years from now? All right, time heals. But right now, he fucked the team, plain and simple. And because of that, I don't want him here right now. Whether I want him here or not is beside the point. Twin Peaks, Phil, walk with me. What? Alvarado gets the last out of the ninth inning to get the Phillies in the playoffs on the last day of the regular season. I hope it don't take the last day of the regular season, Rick. That means we're playing a lot more of 500 baseball. And then who's going to get the last out of the World Series when Alvarado can't? I hope the Phillies don't take till the last day of the season. That would be extremely unfortunate if that's what happens. I'm going to the schedule right now. So that would be Minnesota on Sunday, September 28th. A 3:05 game at Citizens Bank Park. That's the last game of the season. God, we close the season with 3 against the Diamondbacks, 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the Twins. I hope it doesn't take till the last day to get the job done. Ring the Phil. That one's not bad. Phil, eat, love. Yeah, I still like this one. Phil, drunk, love. I'm drunk a lot and I love a lot. That's that. I still like that. No. The Phil on the corner. That's not bad. Lost Phil, not bad. You guys just aren't stopping on this. Me and Rick are arguing, and everybody else is just dropping random stupid movie titles. I said from day one, the Phillies barely sneak into the playoffs on the last day of the season and then get red hot. And that's the thing, though. Why are you so confident that a team that plays 500 ball for a third of the season is just going to match? This is not like other sports. You can't just flip a switch and magically start hitting a baseball. You can't flip a switch and have your bullpen just magically be great. Now, yes, you and I agree. They need to make massive improvements to the lineup and the bullpen. And depending on those adjustments, look, Friday morning, after the trade deadline, my opinion on the Phillies might be different because it's going to evolve with the changes that come. The last Phil on the left, I think I haven't seen that movie. That made me think of the Last of the Mohicans. Last of the Phils? Am I the last of the Phils? The Phil boy? It's just what I say. But I want to know why you say it. Someone already said the Phils have eyes earlier, K1. Because I can't blindly just believe it. I want to blindly believe it. But I'm taking data from this year, from last year, the year before that. I'm taking data from these players' histories. And you just seeing it is just a gut feeling. There's no statistical analysis that says what you think is going to happen. And I pride you. I love that you. I'm glad that you have that blind confidence. I wish I, at this point, could. But I can't have blind confidence on the Phillies. I need to see them do it. Doesn't mean I'm not a fan. It doesn't mean I'm being negative. It's just, I can't make a joke about Schindler's List. Come on now. But you'd be on my list. You just made the list. One of the most underrated segments of all time. I just go off the data in front of me. And barring 2 drastic trades in the next 3 days, I'm going to find it very hard to feel confidence in this team. But it can happen. Crazier things have happened. Normally when the going gets, or when it goes bad, is when it can get good. Like, when the going gets bad, sometimes you get surprised, and maybe that's what it is. I go by visions. Visions? So did you take a little mushrooms and go out into the dark woods like with Aaron Rodgers, and you got a vision that the Phillies were going to win? Is that what it is? Did you have some really good shit that you got down on the corner on a Friday night, and that's where you got the vision? I want to be in on one of these visions, Rick, with you. I want to know what you're doing to get these visions. I do rage on this show sometimes. I want to know what these visions are about how you get to the point to have visions. That's what I want to see. I did it with the Eagles last year from start to finish. Okay. You're gifted. You have a super. So, Rick, you're either a superhero, like an alien from another planet, or you're a mutant and you have visions. Are you part of the X-Men team here with your visions? Uncut Phil. Yeah, I mean, that would fit into, there's a couple of these movie titles fit to Rant Phil's persona. Citizen Phil, I guess. Guys, it's the top of the hour. It's 9 a.m. Like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll. Eagles training camp, biggest surprise are these 4 options. Morojomo dominating, 18%. Adoree Jackson getting the cornerback 2 reps now, 3 practices in a row, 24%. Cooks, Marshall, Gray, wide receiver 4, only 6%. Jihaad Campbell practicing already, 53%. Make sure you're voting, you're liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. Would greatly appreciate it. Phil's Attack. Mars Attack is an extremely underrated comedy. On a shoestring budget with a lot of great cameos, Phil Attacks is a very underrated comedy. Dumb, but great. Watch, you'll see what I'm talking about soon enough, okay? I want to go on one of your vision quests. I want to go on one of these vision quests with you. I want to smoke some good shit with you, Rick. Philly Madison. I think it would just be Phil Madison. I know it's Billy Madison, but Philly Madison. Philly just doesn't work for me. But anyway, who else wants it? We got to have a Core 12 gathering where we all go on a vision quest with Rick together. And the life of Phil ain't winning no Oscars. Let me tell you something. The life of Phil would send some people to the nut house and to a padded room for sure. Somebody already said that, I think. The longest Phil. Phil Apple Express. You guys are trying too hard there. Rick, we're going to do a Core 12 vision quest. All right? It's actually a reference to the Family Guy. We had to go on a vision quest. But anyway. Shark Phil, what? Sharknado? Shark Phil? Do they still make Sharknadoes? Has that franchise died off finally? Not even sure. Phil and Loathing in Las Vegas? Las Vegas is overrated. I'm not a Vegas guy, so no. Phil Nato would be better. Yeah. Phil Nato. Yeah. I could see Phil Nato is better than Shark Phil. Definitely got you on that. Agree with you on that. I know you keep saying it, except they're not at all. Other than it's year 4. They're not running on parallel lines. The Phillies don't have a Jalen Hurts. The Phillies don't have a Nick Sirianni. The Eagles never played 500 ball in the last 2 years. They won a lot in 2023, then completely collapsed, going like 1-6. The Phillies do great and then play 500. There's a bit of a difference. More of differences in the Phillies and the Eagles than you realize. The fifth element, the filth. There, you know. I'll be crying outside of Kenny Gainwell's house apologizing, yeah. Phil Club. The Eagles were 2-2 to start. Well, the Phillies didn't start 2-2. Well, maybe they did start 2-2. I don't even know what their record was. But they started out red hot and have cooled off. The Eagles started cool and then got red hot. So it's not parallel. It's different. So one went like this and the other one went like this. So it's difference. Details matter. The good, the bad, and the Phil. There's some good in Phil, and there's a lot of bad when it comes to Phil. And I can't believe we are still going on with this. It is literally the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen going on right now in the chat. I am not going to lie. The most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. Phillies suck. Yeah, jackass. Yeah. The Phillies started 13. What's it? Okay. And then they got red hot. Okay. So maybe they did start 500. I still don't say it. They're not flipping a switch as currently constructed. The silence of the Phils. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I could just stop putting these comments up on the screen, but then it would get really boring in the chat if I stopped addressing each and every stupid movie reference right here. The outlaw Phil Wales, no. The outlaw Philly Wales, Josie Wales, Philly Wales, I don't know. No, pass on that one, for sure, in my opinion. Vic Fangio in full sweatpants today for practice. It's not hot that hot out. It's a mindset. Love it. No Devontae Smith as well today, just like yesterday. No practice today for Zach Bond, first day in pads. Probably just a day of rest for Zach Bond. Vic Fangio, time to show who he is or isn't on Adoree Jackson. On Andrew Makuba missing time. There's no replacing physical snaps. Jordan Davis weight loss, helping him getting lower. In the rushes, there are times he needs to get 6'2" and bend his knees. Interesting. On Vic Fangio talking about reserve edge rushing competition. No one's really surfaced, good or bad. He doesn't also look at one-on-one drills. Interesting. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Not a Harry Potter fan. Phil over. A few Phillies haters in here. Well, me, supposedly. I'm a hater for stating my opinion. I'm a hater. It's helping the algo, Phil. No, it's not. Because it brings people in, and then they see that they expect Eagles and Phillies chat, and then they see this, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on in this chat? I'm out of here. I'm dipping." Gone with the Phil. That's not the worst. Not the worst. Not the best, but not the worst. Like Phil. So McCullum and Brown seem to be battling it out for third of 4 spots. Tristan McCullum and Sidney Brown. No, I think both those guys make the team, most likely. But neither of them give me the utmost confidence. But again, I love how Vic Fangio, days that Vic Fangio speaks. When we hear Nick Sirianni speak, when we hear Kevin Patullo speak the other day, you get coach talk from them. When you hear Vic Fangio speak, you get honesty. He's going to tell you certain guys need to do better. He's going to tell you certain guys have to push a little harder. Certain guys are doing this or that. Hey, he don't pull no punches. And we've been begging for transparency from coaches. And we got it. There's always haters everywhere. The Wizard of Phil, never a Wizard of Oz fan. Never really was a fan. I preferred The Wiz over The Wizard of Oz. Personally. That was a much better version. That's just my thoughts on it. But Vic Fangio gives us exactly what we want. And we got to love it, right? Got to love the honesty. Just paging through here. Just paging through the comments on him. Cheaper by the Phil. I would say go the other way. Phil by the dozen. Blankenship and Makuba will get the 1 and 2 spots. Third will be the C, much more playing time. Fourth is, gotcha. So you're ranking it that way. Gotcha. Yeah, I can see that being the way it is. As long as Makuba doesn't miss a lot of time. If Makuba misses the next 2 or 3 weeks of camp because of being banged up, they haven't really said what his injury is. Then I could see Sidney Brown getting the starting spot or them going out and getting Justin Simmons. But I have a feeling they're going to need to add to the edge position now. Where's TMZ to say, see, I told you your edges are mid? Nobody seems to standing out on the edge for the Eagles. One Phil over the Cuckoo's Nest. Great freaking movie, by the way. Phil by Phil West. Nah. Breh, what? See, I say his name and he appears. Anchor Phil. Magnum Phil. You got that right. Anyway, gonna have to wrap this up at about the 115, 120 mark. So what kind of stupid conversation are we gonna have tomorrow? It's the question I have to say. Are we gonna do this with TV shows next? Vic Fangio ain't about fork tongue, aka coach speak for sure. Makuba size might become a problem early in his career. Jonathan, first off, yes. I love it. I love Vic Fangio, doesn't pull punches. He says what's on his mind. He's open, he's honest. He doesn't do it in a mean way. It's not like he's bashing any players. So I'm saying that player sucks or whatnot. I'm saying this guy's got to do better. That guy's done well, but he's got to work on these things. You love it. Makuba's size is, he's not that much smaller, really, than Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But I think he's got a lot of learning to do. I still think they want Sidney Brown to win that job and to ease Drew Makuba. You also have seen when they run the dime situation that Drew Makuba slides up into the slot with Cooper Dejean. So they're looking at, Drew Makuba, hopefully, as a flexible guy on this defense, depending on the situations. But I think they really want Sidney Brown to figure it out. So it also looks like Q is the only one that guard AJ and Smitty. Dejean gets beat by both a few times. Well, so it's funny. We talk about all the time that it's so great for Quinyon Mitchell to have to guard A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in practice because it makes him better. But when everybody else is guarding those guys, they're just dominating or getting dominated. So does it not make them better too? Big picture, because they're not going to have to guard A.J. Brown in a game. Quinyon Mitchell will be guarding the best guy in games anyway. It also just shows Quinyon Mitchell is that special and elite of a cornerback where he can also stop A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in practice. The mighty Phil. Nobody can guard A.J. one-on-one. Quinyon Mitchell's doing a pretty solid job in practice so far with it. Forrest Phil. I'm trying to come up with a way. I don't know what made me think of this. The mighty Phil made me think of The Majestic. Really underrated movie with Jim Carrey. How can we put Phil in The Majestic? The Filmestic? No. The Phil Majestic? No. The Magic Phil? I don't know. Magic Mike, Magic Phil, yeah. The fact that they are giving McCollum and Brown so much time with first-team reps says they are making a hard decision ahead of preseason. Yeah, I already said this one, Mitchie Poo, but I went the Phil Redemption or the Shawshank Phil. You don't need the Phil-demption. That's too much right there. I said it earlier this offseason that there was a small percent, like 5% chance that Sidney Brown doesn't make the team. It's highly unlikely that he gets cut, but there is that chance, I guess. I mean, he's going into his third year. He's not a Fangio guy. He doesn't do what Fangio needs at that position. You're going to have Drew Makuba, Tristan McCollum, and then go get Justin Simmons. And that could be your safety room, or Andre Sam, or Scene. One of those guys can pop here in preseason games. We're just not stopping. Not stopping with the movie titles today. Hey, whatever makes you guys happy. Whatever keeps you guys coming back, I guess makes me happy. Because that's all that matters, right? Your guys' happiness. That's what it is. Programming alert, don't forget, tonight, 6 p.m., Fairway to Heaven. We'll be breaking down the Wyndham Championship from Flair Country. We'll be recapping Happy Gilmore 2. Lots happening tonight. Fairway to Heaven, right here on this channel. Captain Phil. 2001, a Phil Odyssey. 2001, there was an Odyssey of Phil in 2001. 2001 Phil could be a movie. Could be several movies. I don't think cornerback will be our problem. I really think safety will be soft spot, and their secondary will really depend on the quarterback. Safety umbrella is what Vic is known for. See, I'm starting, as camp unfolds, I'm starting to get a little concerned about the edge position. I am. Jelks Hunt's had a couple good practices, a couple okay practices. Nolan Smith, you're not really hearing much of Nolan Smith at this point. I know he's recovering from an injury, but he's out there practicing. Ojulari, Uche, those guys are not doing a thing. No one's impressing at all. Antoine Powell-Ryland, not doing anything yet. I mean, he's a rookie. It is what it is. A lot to learn. The Philadelphia Eagles may need to go out and make a move and bring in, at the very least, one or two defensive edges or defensive ends, edge rushers. Bad news, Phil. That's a new one. We've used Beverly Hills Cop a few times with my name. Beverly Hills Phil, Beverly Hills Cop. The silence of the Phils, yeah. If it's one practice, Phil, take a deep breath. Well, it's actually not one practice. There was Wednesday's practice. There was Thursday's practice. Friday was an unreported practice. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday was an off day. Sunday, there was a practice. Monday, there was a practice. So I think today's practice 6? Something like that. Major Phil, is that a playoff, a Major Pain? Major Pain is an underrated, majorly underrated comedy right there. Stupid comedy, but comedy. One in pads. Okay, so there's one padded practice. Gotcha. They don't actually practice in pads often, K1. Let's be honest. You might see over the next 4 weeks, like 8 padded practices, period. During the season, they almost never practice with the pads on. I'm not even going to say that out loud because that would be a clip that I don't want to say or made. Major League. Oh, you're going off of Major League, Major Phil. Some reason I went to Major Pain. Phil in black. I do look good in black. Both the original Major Pains were good, but I prefer the Waynes. I didn't know there was one without the Waynes brothers. There's 5 stages of me for sure. There's 5 personalities of me, that's for sure as well. There ain't no doubt about that. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, because when the algo dies, when the comments stop, that's when the show stops. Phil's story, you guys are trying way too hard. Way too hard of effort with these movie titles today. You put more effort into the movie titles than I do on a daily basis in life. It's a wonderful film. I am a wonderful. Original 50s movie with Copper. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Had no clue. Hopefully it was a comedy like the original. Or the Wayne's one. Phil to the future. Yeah, I would step on a bug and ruin everything. That would be if I went back to the future. Phil Link. Phillies pressing to get a closer from Pittsburgh. Bednar. Is that a new rumor? I haven't seen that one yet. Floating around. I'd have to do research on his stats this year, his contract and stuff. When it comes to closers, the price of closers, especially with Class A situation, is going through the roof right now. So if I'm going all in and trading a painter or something like that, I need to know the closer's at least under control for one more year. The controllability of a player determines the value of the player just as much as his skill set. Dr. Strangefield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. What? Interesting. Interesting effort today on the movie titles. Very interesting. All right. We'll have more trade rumors tomorrow. We will. We really didn't get into it today. Maybe I'll see if Mark's free tomorrow. Mark loves a good gambling conversation. We really didn't talk about the whole, Class A getting suspended, or he's on leave right now until they figure out if they're suspending him for gambling, and the conversation of gambling around sports and how athletes keep getting suspended and caught doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. And is that the league's fault for accepting advertising dollars? Is it the country's fault for allowing gambling? Or is it the player's fault for knowing there's a rule that you can't do something and they still do it anyway? So I think that'd be something interesting to discuss a little bit more tomorrow. Meet the Phils. Phillies should give up Painter, Abel, Crawford, and other player. Painter and Crawford for Rooker and Miller. You're really hurting your outfield depth by doing that. If you're getting Rooker, you kind of need Crawford because you're going to need Crawford in center field. You really are. I'd rather, if you're going to do this, would you prefer, Rick, Painter, Abel, and Aiden Miller? Keep Crawford for the outfield depth? Because you're really going to need help in that outfield. Would Painter, Abel, Miller be a better deal there? Go fill yourself, San Diego. Yeah, that's right. The 55 film, The Private War of Major Benson starring Charlton Heston, is the basis for the storyline of Major Payne. Gotcha. That's what some say that. Some do say that. And I want to have a deeper conversation on it. I'm up against the clock. I got to leave here in like 2 minutes. So we can't really have that today. But remind me tomorrow. I'll put it in the description of the show tomorrow, too. Legalized gambling is bad for Phil. Nah, I don't bet that big. Gotta win now. I agree. Especially considering there might not be a 2027. Online gambling is the worst thing for sports ever. It challenged the morality of sport, and it's sports lost. I think we have to have this conversation tomorrow. We got to really dive into it. So bring these comments tomorrow. Because as a guy that likes to gamble, a guy that used to gamble when it was illegal and had a bookie, I think I'm the opposite side of the equation. Now, I don't bet big anymore, but I used to bet big. Some like it, Phil. Anyway, guys, we got to wrap this up. Fun day. Make sure if you're watching and you haven't yet, you like, you share, subscribe. Please. I think tomorrow's poll question will be, is gambling bad for sports? Is legalized gambling bad for sports? That might be the poll question. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Thank you for all the hilarious movie titles with my name in it. Go Birds! Bubbles up.